Hi, everyone. I'm Nancy.
And I'm Stephanie.
And if you enjoy our show, please like and subscribe.
Hit that bell.
Yes. We're also on Instagram at TWiN, and you can also find us on X, formerly known as Twitter. Welcome to part 3 of Meghan and Harry's failed extravaganza spectacle. This is the third time they've tried to take the city of New York, and they have failed miserably. So we focused on Marcy Labs. We focused on the Will and Harry comparison and the 7-car convoy.
Unnecessary convoy.
Yes, but now we saved the best for last, or the worst for last in this case. We get to the parent summit. Is it a doozy?
Parent summit.
So they started out over at Hudson Yards. It is sad when you think about it, that Harry and Meghan are using parents who have lost their children to social media and bullying. It is a very sad thing. It is a very real thing. We want to say right off the bat that this is a very real thing. I don't know how parents do it these days. If I had a kid, I'd be terrified.
Oh my God.
I don't even have a TikTok page. That's how scared I am of this stuff. As you are going to see in this video, as we prove it, this is not something that Meghan is necessarily interested in. This is something that Meghan feels that she is being victimized herself, and therefore needs to control what is being pushed on social media. This is such a victim day for her. You could just tell because it's all about her. So we get to the Parent Summit, which is not Archwell affiliated in any way. This is Project Healthy Mind. If you haven't seen the video that we put out on it, we explain who's behind all that fun stuff. And they've got a nice little eating area, I guess. So Archwell, of course, has to. Yeah. So Archwell, of course, has to put what they did, and they kind of explain the situation. Pause to read if you want to. What I noticed, what was very interesting, was they were also merching. What they did was they put out these cute little bags that say Archwell Foundation, and they had nice little pens and notepads. Who else knows what was in that? And they gave each one to the press.
A little burlap bags.
Because that's something that you do. Like whenever, Stephanie and I would do a charity event or something, for animals or whatever.
Branding
is
key.
Yeah, so this is branding. This isn't necessarily giving this out of the goodness of their heart. And I think that's what's going to happen eventually is Meghan's going to try to use Archwell Foundation as, those feed bags that were really popular like 10 years ago.
The burlap feed bags.
Yeah, and just world hunger bags and stuff like that. This is sort of on the same thing. So she's trying to get the Archwell Foundation name out there. She's trying to go off the Royal Foundation. It's pretty obvious what she's doing.
I'm just excited that the IRS is investigating them.
Hopefully, yes, allegedly. And then they had these nice little placards to explain what it's all about. Our core purpose at Archwell Foundation is quite simple: to do good. We are committed to creating a community globally and locally to inspire change, prioritizing lasting solutions over temporary fixes, and developing partnerships that amplify our reach and inspire limitless potential.
We're going to put a muzzle on everybody.
Wow. And it's a bunch of word salad that they like to use.
Word vomit.
Meghan and Harry walk into this parent summit. Meghan walks in like a bull in a china shop, and that's what she wears.
Well, she's the new face of Invictus. It's her now, so she has to step up.
Now, I can't stress this enough. The war is happening currently in the Middle East. Israel had a terrorist attack unlike anything we've seen in a long time. It was like their 9/11. They're about to talk with parents who have lost their children tragically
to online bullying.
Yeah, and you should never outlive your children. This is terrifying. And Meghan has a smile on her face, this cheesy grin the entire time.
She's wearing an off-the-shoulder, oversized pantsuit thing that just does not fit her. I'm sorry, but it's 1:30 in the afternoon, and we're talking to parents who have lost their children. Can we please cover up your shoulders?
Yeah.
There was no reason to do this. She's walking into Project Angel Food or Sunshine or whatever that thing is.
It's just not an appropriate way
It's
to
not.
like, even if somebody's saying hi to you, hi Megan, it's nice to see you again. You don't go like that.
You're
Like,
not on the red carpet right now. You're walking through a solemn room.
yes.
Right?
Yes, it's very solemn. They wouldn't give us the actual look of the room.
Of
I could
course.
only see like maybe the 2 front rows.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it seemed from the applause that it was a very small room.
Well, and that's a photographer's trick. That's what they do.
Yeah. So she had this cheesy look on her face, very inappropriate. And then there's Harry. He looks like a mess.
I think it's because he actually does feel bad for those parents.
Yeah.
I really do. I think he does have a heart. Diana was his mom.
And so the Queen.
And King Charles is his dad.
And the Queen.
And King Charles has sympathy and he has a heart and he has empathy. And so did Diana. And the Queen had empathy. And
what
even
she did
Prince
for those,
Philip.
What she did for those boys.
So
when Diana died, keeping them at Balmoral and protecting them, she went into grandma mode.
Yeah, I think Harry is the victim in this. A lot of people are probably going to disagree with me and say, oh, he's just as guilty. Yes, he is guilty for what he did. I just think that Meghan is an abuser, and I'll say that allegedly.
Reuters put this picture out, and Reuters is an actual factual publication. Like, they don't lie or anything. They don't take Photoshop things from Backward or anything. So here's an actual look of what Meghan did look like without the Photoshop. This isn't a channel where we go after people's looks. I'm going to actually, though, make a comment about Harry that Meghan's mole had a good point. Harry, you need to get a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You need to get a freaking haircut, or you need to go to a barber and have them clean all that up, because you look like a mess, dude. You look like a mess.
It's dangerous.
But
it's too dangerous to go get a Harry in New York City.
Yeah. So that is what they really looked like. And this is how Meghan Markle's Sussex squad was portraying her over on the Instagram. So as you can see, they were ready for it. They were making her skin look nice and smooth. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I sometimes use a filter here and there.
I hate filters.
We don't wear makeup on this show. We don't use filters.
I hate makeup. I hate filters.
Yeah, I said a long time ago, I don't want to ever meet somebody like that watches this show and then them behind our back go, Nancy doesn't look like that in real life. Like, I don't want anyone to this is what I look like.
I do make fun of you because you do sometimes use filters to be funny.
Yeah. But this is a filter times 11.
Remember back in December, Harry and Meghan accepted that fake award from Kerry Kennedy. Mm-hmm. It was this award that, they were fighting off structural racism within the palace walls. And Meghan was this hero. But then Harry was like, wait, we never said the palace was racist, So it was just a fake award. It was a major fail. It was a huge embarrassment. Huge. My theory is 2 days ago when she was doing this thing, she wore the same type of outfit, wore her hair up, had the mic exactly placed in the exact position, did her fake laughing and her fake, smiling or whatever she was doing. I believe that her management, her new management and her new PR, they were like, listen, we need to wipe the internet clean of that fake award by Kerry Kennedy because you look like an idiot. So what you're going to do is you're going to redeem yourself at this fake pay-to-play mental health summit, and you're going to wear the same type of outfit. So then when people go on and they Google things, that picture is going to come up and that event's going to come up.
When they say off the shoulder white. Yeah, no. Kardashians do that all the time.
The Kardashians are notorious for doing that. What her management company didn't realize is that this thing was even more of an epic fail.
The fact that she's laughing like that at an event for these parents is just so weird. It's an inappropriate day outfit. The whole thing's a mess.
She was told to do that, dude, because the Kerry Kennedy thing was at night. She was told to do all that.
I know.
Yeah, it was inappropriate. And we're all going to go, why is she wearing that? Because they have to replace the pictures. That is PR 101.
Who greets somebody like this? I've been somber for like 6 days. Like, you know, I laugh and I do
Obviously.
these videos, but then I go home and I'm just depressed. And it's sad what's going on in the world right now. I just couldn't imagine being like this at an event.
She just has that mask up, you know, and it's gonna drop. Oh, there's a camera there. I better put the mask back on.
Like, there's one thing about seeing a camera, but then there's another thing about seeing a camera and making a grin like that. Like,
Yep.
there's one thing you could go like this, like Princess Catherine, like she'll go like this. You know, very somber and ladylike.
If she's at an event like that,
she doesn't make a face like that at an event with parents like that.
Well, it just shows how uncomfortable she is within her own skin. Again, man, she's being told to do this. She's being forced to do this. And Meghan doesn't really like being told what to do. Okay. So there is that uncomfortability there that you can see when the mask drops.
Meghan's mole had a really good point. She said that it looked like a gynecologist's office. It totally does. Now that Meghan's mole said that, it's all I can see is a gynecologist's office.
Who's comparing Prince William's panel? That's so
it's just so weird.
It looks so much like it's just uncomfortable and it's muted colors.
Sterile.
It's sterile and it's like I always, you know, all those cult things are flashing before my eyes.
Well, cult people tend to lean towards the white,
the neutral colors.
It's more pure. It's more angelic.
And it's a lot more calming. I've done a lot of research. Well, both of us have done a lot of research. And I think psychology classes are rushing before our brains right now, where it's like you really like the cults of Nexium, all Heaven's Gate. They're all wearing the same neutral colors because here's the thing, guys. Unstable people don't like chaos.
And they don't want you to think for yourself. Nope. So everything's the same.
They don't like change. They want everything to be the same because if you change something up or if you start waving your hands wildly, the squirrels are going to run away.
When Meghan and Harry were called on the stage, she started treating him like an infant right away. So either she was mad at him before this or she was just nervous. Either he was allegedly took something for his nerves or something because she was really eyeing him like he was a child. I just thought that was a little strange. I don't know. I catch things like that where it's just a little weird. She just sort of had this kind of uneasy look to her. To me, it was a little strange. I don't know. I could be wrong. She grabbed that mic right away.
Ooh.
Made sure she had that mic. She bulldozes herself over to Carson Daly.
She starts fangirling out, man. She's
now,
like,
I know other YouTubers have said this, and it bothers me too, guys. She is really not good at keeping her legs together. Like, and that's kind of just like lady etiquette 101. Like, she just really sort of does that a lot. Stephanie, I want to make sure that we get this in there. She made sure that all the publications put out that she is the Duchess of Sussex.
Yeah.
So look at that grin on her face. She's just so proud of herself, isn't she?
Gosh, I get really like angry over that. The way she treated the Queen and the way she treated Prince Philip.
Just the institution as a whole. So that's why it bothers
me. She treated
an
elderly lady like garbage, Nancy, right before she died. Okay.
So Harry looked very uncomfortable. Ooh. I wanted you to see her face and looking at him. And
no support.
Yeah.
No support.
Was it Resting Dollface that asked us to do that comparison video of Harry and Meghan? And I got a split screen of Meghan looking at him while Harry was talking, and she looked very, very uncomfortable. The quality is not 100% great because I had to piece it together, but here we go.
Thank you. I can't start without thanking all the parents.
Now just look at her face and look at his. Just the comparison is just stunning.
And fathers that have been here today for being with us physically here today, but also being on this journey for the last year.
Right there, by doing that, she looked uncomfortable. Just right away, she's nervous and she's looking at him like he's 5 years old and he's going to do something, like he's going to have an emotional outburst.
No,
she just looks nervous.
Yeah, she doesn't want him to embarrass her.
Like he didn't have his nap.
And I don't like the lack of support from a wife like that. I really don't. Could you imagine if William was on stage and he was fidgety and not really comfortable and maybe having a little bit of a mom moment where you're sort of breaking down and him, I can't imagine Princess Catherine looking over at him like, hello.
She would never treat William like that.
She would be like, are you okay? Are you okay?
Creating this community of shared experience. we know it's not hard. We know it's not easy for you guys to be here. So thank you very much.
Here's her face with just her looking at him the whole time.
His fake smile.
And the fake smile was really apparent. Like usually she'll do it a couple times at events, but she's really doing it today. Today she was just down with it. Just the expressions.
This is what makes me nervous, though. These videos that we're seeing, this is what makes me nervous is when they do divorce, I feel like she's going to use this against Harry and say, you guys don't know the half of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
the
sure.
way he was treating me on that plane, the way he was treating me at the hotel, you guys don't know the half of it.
Well, I think she might allegedly pull a Kim Kardashian where she's like, I just want to protect my kids. I'm not going to tell you how bad it was for me. But
yeah.
just so you know.
Things were bad, but I'm not going to get specific.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what? You're just saying that that he's having a mental breakdown, that he's an alcoholic, that he's a drug addict? What are you trying to say? So all that speculation is going to go right into the media. So what she's doing right here, man, it's a crafty move, but we know what she's doing.
Yeah, it's really just apparent.
She's going to use this against him. She knows what she's doing.
You know, she can barely like look at him. I mean, is it to that point you think where she's just really just over it?
They don't live together. It's not like
allegedly.
It's not like they're comfortable with each other.
Her kids are her most important thing, and then her husband. She acted like Harry was,
in this one or something.
Yeah, like in this one too, I guess.
She goes from having nicknames and cute little, my love. She said, my love. Remember at the beginning, it was my love, my love. And now it's this one over here.
Yeah.
This one.
This guy over here.
So she could be using this against him.
So yeah, she definitely wore an outfit that was made for a person who is 5'11".
Yeah.
So it was a little inappropriate. Let's say it did fit her like a glove, which it doesn't because she obviously doesn't have a tailor anymore, or somebody's not giving her advice. But let's say it did fit like a glove, it's still very inappropriate for that actual event.
Well,
so
again, they're using the waist up for the photo. They could care less what's going down on the bottom.
Yeah. Here's the panel, and I just want to compare to what, Meghan and Harry said to what the Prince and Princess of Wales said. And you're going to see a stark difference because they're talking about listening to kids and, wanting to get their input. And Meghan is just talking about herself. And then Harry completely goes off the rails by talking about how he is part of these tech companies and he's part of creating these apps. What is he talking about? He just went completely off the rails.
William calls everyone a hero and he's taking all the credit.
Now, keep in mind when she says the mom part, everybody in that room is no longer a mom because their children tragically ended their lives because of whatever, social media and bullying. Just keep that in mind.
A mom is the most important thing in my entire life, outside of course being a wife to this one. I feel fortunate that our children are at an age, again, quite young, so this isn't in our immediate future.
So she basically said, I feel fortunate that our kids are young, so we don't have to worry about what you did and how you failed as parents. So we can learn from you.
Fortunate should not be in that girl's vocabulary during a summit like this. That is so inappropriate. There's nothing fortunate about anything that has happened to those parents.
I know.
Wow.
So it worries me. Also given a lot of hope and a lot of energy by the progress we've made in the past year. It allows us to continue to learn.
What progress? What progress has Meghan Markle made?
And the more information we have, the more information gathering we're able to do, the more we can have these high-level conversations and try to move the needle a little bit. Everyone now is affected by the online world and social media, some more than others.
That was directed to her. Some more than others. She wanted to make sure that this is about her and
she's
her
the victim.
Pain, her struggle. She's literally having a struggle session right now in front of parents who have lost their kids.
But we all just want to feel safe. As parents, though our kids are really young, they're 2.5 and 4.5, there's an entry point that's supposed to be positive and creating community. And something has devolved. My husband and I often say if there's going to be so much focus on what we're doing, then to try to focus on what we're focusing on.
So she's trying to say there's so much focus on us. Meghan, there isn't any focus on you. There really isn't. Nobody's looking at you like the golden beacon of hope. Nobody's even really, you're not in the tabloids unless you put yourself in there. Stop hiring Backgrid and telling TMZ where you're going to be. And trust me, nobody will focus on you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you don't have to call that guy in the orange sweatshirt.
Yeah.
It's fine. He doesn't need to show up. I'm sure he had better things to do. Of course, you hired him, but he probably had better things to do.
So here's the Prince and Princess of Wales, what they said, just little snippets.
And I continue to be inspired to see young people, like you all here today, leading this charge. As a generation, you value and talk more about your mental health than any before you, something we truly admire and applaud. It is important, however, to remind ourselves of the big picture as we meet here today. What are we trying to improve by focusing our efforts on mental health?
We feel that we've made some progress in that we're all in this room talking about mental health, and we're chipping away at that stigma, but there's a lot more to do. And I think concrete action and some sort of tangibility to come forwards is the idea of where we'd like to see the space go next. For me, I think just general maintenance, so general mental well-being every day, things like walking, fresh air, getting away from screens is a big deal. Having a laugh, humor for me is a big deal. I love to laugh, and you've got to look at the lighter things in life sometimes to feel good. Time with my friends, time with my family.
Prince and Princess of Wales are just like, we like what we see, and you guys are doing a great job, and we're here to support you. That's why we're here. We're here to support you. And they're talking to the actual kids that are affected by this.
They're not talking about their children who are very privileged, and they know that and they respect that.
Exactly.
I think we all accept that and agree. But as someone who works within those companies, as someone who designs them especially, because obviously they're not going away, new ones are going to be created, then do not send, or stop, please stop sending children content that you wouldn't want your own children to see. And I think that's a really simple request, and it's an easy fix. But again, as the dads up here said, well, it's all about the bottom line.
Right.
But if the shareholders of these companies can accept that they're going to get a little less profit out of it to make it a safe space, then that would stop the suffering.
What he's doing right now is he's making it look like, hey man, maybe if we just care less about money and do that. That's not what he's doing, because now that we know who's behind Project Healthy Minds, what he's doing for his bosses right now, the people paying his salary, he's saying, guys, I've got a better way. And let's buy this program and buy from these tech giants and these people from BlackRock that do this and that and say this narrative, because they actually care. So let's just do it a different way. We don't need Elon Musk, with this free speech Twitter. That's bonkers to me.
The top of his head was sweating, which means his blood pressure was elevated. And you could tell, and he was scatterbrained. His eyes were going all over the place, which means obviously having some sort of panic attack on stage.
Here's Meghan using the same script, much like the same off the shoulder. This is her using the exact same script to make people forget about the comment she made in Africa.
For asking. Thank you 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 for asking.
Because then when we Google thank you for asking, we're going to get this now. And that's just a PR 101 move.
Hey guys, I was uploading our last video, and for some reason it cut off the part where we do the dog rescue. So I walked over to Stephanie's in my pajamas and decided to finish it for you. Stephanie's recording it for me. So thank you, Stephanie.
Looks like you're wearing the same thing in your other video.
It does, kind of. To the untrained eye. Our dog rescue is Medical Mutts. We explained it in the last two, but I'll give you an overview right now. It is a place that places therapy dogs with people with anxiety, depression, all sorts of mental illness. What's great about it is they take shelter dogs and they train these dogs. So we want to put the link in the description below. If you can't give them any love, just send it to friends and family and talk to them about the organization. It's really cool. Thanks for joining us on this odyssey that we've been on, and we will definitely see you very soon.
Bye, guys.